Well, try number 2. Last time we had no sound. Donna's our technical support, which I greatly appreciate, and she just forgot to press the unmute button. Oh well, we learn.
Thanks.
But anyway, we're back again.
Put that into the sock for next time.
Yeah. We're going to start over again. My name is Debbie Kilsheimer with my friend Donna Reed, who's behind the camera today. And come say hi. There she is.
Hi, everyone. I don't know if you can see me or not.
But I'm here with my great friend Marlon Wolfman. Marlon and I are in Reframe together, a Reframe Society. Hector and Carlos is a Reframe Society, which we do love. And I asked Marlon to be a guest on our podcast, our YouTube channel, over here at Scaling New Heights. Now, which number?
Now he's been on twice, technically.
Yes, you've been on our show twice. You get 2, I've been guest twice buttons. And then, so how many scalings have you come to?
This is my 6th scaling.
Now, why do you keep coming back?
I always tell people I came the first year for the exhibitor hall. It was the first one I'd ever seen that had a huge exhibitor hall. And
Yes.
I'm like, technology in this field, I love it. But eventually I just kept coming back, 1, for the hall, but 2, because 1, the friends I've made over the years.
Right.
I see people, many people are in Reframe now. You see the same people every year, you get to know them, you become friends, you talk all the time. And this is my yearly, when your cup starts getting empty from all of the work, this is a replenishment. It's like, it really is that refill of the cup to
Yes.
come back with all those ideas and all those things that you want to implement, and just leaving with more information. Which is always
Well,
great.
I like it because I think it's very visionary. Right now we've just gone through tax season that ended in April. We could relax May, and now let's get the vision
what
out.
we can do? No.
Yeah, well, that's what I kind of think of it like that. And then June, here it is June, where we get our cup filled again with inspiration for the next year about what's coming up.
Perfect. And like you said, Joe is a visionary. He's always
I
talking
think
at the
he's the
forefront.
I come to hear his main stage speeches.
They are all great. I never miss the main stage.
I write down everything he has to say, Plus I come here mainly though for my friends. Because I think we met the first time at a scaling.
Actually, the first time I ever met you,
Yeah.
I know this distinctly because it was one of my favorite classes. I think it was probably your first storytelling class.
Oh, you were in that class?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that was the year, I've always come to conferences looking for the hard technical skill classes. And that was the first year I decided that it was time to really start doing the soft skill stuff, which has
Okay.
been tremendous for me. And yours about storytelling was one of the first ones I went to.
So did you like the class?
I loved it.
Oh, good.
I'm sure you got a 5-star or whatever.
I don't know what it was
because
because I don't like to look at I always think people are critical. So if people come up like you and said they liked it, that's all I need to hear. I don't need to hear what I did wrong. It's like school. You had a 100 test question, you got 2 wrong, and the teacher writes -2 in big red. I'm like, what? But I got 98 right. Why are you always telling me what I did wrong? Tell me what I did right. So I never look at that stuff. But thank you for saying that. That was great.
Well, obviously it worked out because they invite you back. So.
Oh yeah, you had me back. I'm teaching another class this year, which I'm very excited about. Another soft skill class. Because I think with AI, what do you think about this? AI now does all the drudgery stuff that we used to do to learn how, the technical stuff, the getting the data into the system. But now we have to pivot to talk to clients. So we have to learn those soft skills, which we never learned as accountants.
Isn't that the truth? All that stuff that as accountants, the introverts, we're like, oh, a profession where I don't have to talk to people? I can just sit behind the desk, and all of a sudden that's all we're doing is talking to people.
And I think that's what the whole reason I went into accounting was to make a difference in people's lives. Because I know you have a tax practice.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you start out in tax? Did you work for big firms? Tell us your history.
Yep, I started very traditionally at a large regional South Florida firm. I think when I was there, by the time I left, we were about 150, 3 offices in the area. Very traditional hourly billing style practice. You kind of siloed after you were there for a while where, okay, you're on the S Corp and high net worth individual track, or you're on the partnership track. You silo, you start specializing in, a particular field.
Whatever they need you for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you get thrown into in the beginning, and then they stick you with that.
Yeah,
for a
okay,
while.
that you got that. Now you're in that. And then what made you worked there for a while, and then what happened to made you jump to decide to go to your own firm?
I think it was what most people do. You have a young family and you realize, especially in this field, you don't have a lot of time to spend with that family. And you think that going out on your own is going to magically give you that time to spend with your family.
Nope. Nope, nope, nope.
And then you actually start that career and learn it doesn't quite work that way.
So what made you, because you've made a whole huge transition in your business life, your working life.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do before, and now what do you do now? What changed? What's different about what you do now and how your firm operates?
Okay. I started my own firm in a very traditional sense of tax and accounting compliance. So I was doing a lot of bookkeeping back then. I was doing the tax work and the accounting work together. And it was the very traditional, okay, I'll see you before the 15th of April, we'll get the returns out, you don't talk to them for a year or so. Then they come back in and they tell you all the stuff that happened after the last year. And you're like, oh wow, if we had talked beforehand, maybe I could have helped you with some of this.
Right.
And that is where I transitioned.
So you had an idea in your head, gee, if I talk to these people before the year end, I could help them do more tax planning, because you're a tax prep firm, but you're really more of a tax planning firm.
I'm actually not, I don't even consider myself a tax prep firm. I
Oh,
tell
okay.
my clients I do the tax prep, but the prep is not what we focus on.
Okay.
My focus is year-round tax planning now.
Okay.
So it is the monthly or quarterly meetings.
Okay.
And it is talking about them with the business, how their businesses are doing.
Okay.
And then coming up with tax plans that work around that with whatever their goals happen to be.
Okay, so you have to learn how to talk to clients about what their dreams, hopes, and aspirations are.
Yes, it's like
Oh my gosh.
goals is the key.
Now, was that difficult to learn, being an accountant behind a desk?
You know what? I would say to a degree, it's more learning how to deal with different personality
Right.
styles than anything.
Right.
Because a lot of people they love talking about what they want, but dealing with different personality styles and how to communicate with different personality styles
Right.
is definitely one of the more challenging aspects.
Now, you said you talk to them all year, so are you doing their bookkeeping all year, or are they doing it? Then you get to go take a look at their books and see what's changed?
No, that was actually one of the transitions that I mentioned. So when I decided to go the more tax planning advisory route, I had to decide what does that include. And for the longest time, I was doing the bookkeeping for a lot of my clients, but I realized that the bookkeeping was my bottleneck,
Okay.
especially having a hard time finding staff and someone who could do the work where I could just review it.
Right.
So ultimately, I decided the best decision for me in order to focus on what I wanted to do was to divest the accounting world
Okay.
to people that I work with often. I obviously do not say, hey, you have to go and work with this person, but
Okay.
I give people that I work with, people that I would call preferred vendors, I guess, who I
Right.
know I'm going to get quality books back
Right.
from. I don't want to focus on the minutia of the books. I want to focus on helping them look at the books from a higher level
Okay.
and figure out what's going on with the company and then figure out what the tax situation
So do you teach them who to look for in a good bookkeeper, accountant that's doing the everyday?
That's a good question. Not one I really thought of in depth. Not so much, more in the sense of like, again, if I know someone
Okay.
that
So
specializes.
if you called me, you would know that my work would be good.
Exactly.
Okay.
And coincidentally, I also usually offer some type of discount to my clients if they use one of my preferred vendors,
Okay.
because I know I'm not going to have to scrutinize the books as much as I normally would if I don't know them, if they're
Right.
an unknown quantity.
Right, so good collaboration with anybody.
Yes.
So can somebody like apply with you or let you know that they're interested, or?
That's interesting. I've never really thought of that. I mean, really, the funny thing is pretty much 100% of people who I refer to, I've met at scale.
Exactly. So come to scaling to meet Marlon, but I work with Marlon. It's really fabulous. So what's your favorite thing about doing tax prep? Well, let me ask, I'm going to back up a second, because you did something really significant.
Okay.
You sent out a letter to your clients and doubled their price? Or what was that letter you sent out?
It was more triple the price.
Tripled the price. So you had a client, I'm making up numbers here, that you were charging $100 a month, $100 to, and then you came up with a letter that it's now going to be $300, or it was $1,000 to $300. So you So what happened with that? Was that scary to send? And what made you decide to do it? What happened?
Of course it was scary.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what's gonna, you don't know how it's gonna work.
So you
out.
tripled your prices in one fell swoop.
I'd have to say I did it a little differently.
Okay.
So I looked at my entire book of business, and this was really when I decided to go the tax planning route.
Right.
And I basically gave all of my clients, looked at all of the work I did for everyone, and ranked them on, were they good for tax planning advisory? Were they not good for tax planning advisory, but I would keep them as a standalone tax prep client if they wanted to stay under the new situation.
Okay. But they had to be grandfathered in.
Yes. Yes, because I don't take any more standalone tax prep.
Okay, so if I call you, Marlon, could you do my taxes? You say no.
Well, maybe it's more of a little more of a conversation than that, but it might be no if that's really all.
Yeah, I just want my taxes done, Marlon. I heard you're really good. Just my taxes done.
Yeah, no.
Nope. I'm a more high end.
And again, it's very hard to turn down business because that was the problem in the beginning. I took too much work I shouldn't have just because they said yes.
Yes.
You know, when you go out on your own that first time and all of a sudden you're not getting that steady paycheck. And it's, oh boy, if I don't invoice, I'm not going to get paid.
Right.
I'm not bringing in money. So when you have people say yes to you, you just say, okay.
Okay.
It took a lot of time to learn to be selective about who I was going to take.
So you had the ones you knew were good for tax planning, the ones you liked enough to keep, and then what was the third group?
They just weren't the right
like
fit anymore. They weren't the right fit. Their returns were so easy, like even I couldn't justify keeping them on, that type of thing.
Because you decided to have a price, and for somebody like the little old lady from Pasadena, your new price structure I'm making, I don't know what it is, but let's say it's $3,000, whatever it is. This is a $100 return. I don't feel right charging her $3,000 unless she would want the tax planning, and she doesn't need it because she's 100 years old, and what can I do for her? So, so what did you say in your letter, and what was the fallout?
The letter itself for those clients who were just standalone was really just that. I'm redoing my firm. I'm focusing more on year-round tax planning. However, we have an existing relationship. I do enjoy working with you. If you want to continue working together, this is what you were paying last year. This is what the fee is going to be going forward. And I did make sure to send these out before the end of the year.
Okay.
I didn't want to blindside anyone during tax season. Like, oh, by the way, if you stay with me, your taxes are due in a month, and by the way, it's triple the fee.
But you told them the additional benefit they would get. If you stay as a tax planning client, not only will you get your tax return done, we will have these monthly tax planning sessions based on your goals, hopes, and dreams that you want, so we can minimize your taxes every year. I would get this in addition to my tax return done.
Yes.
Great.
And I'm subscription based, and I've seen.
And what does that mean,
done.
subscription based?
So I charge a monthly fee for my services.
So you don't track hours?
I have not looked at an hour in,
I know,
in
I
2
don't,
years, 3 years.
Who cares?
I don't care.
I just
don't.
think, clients do not care how long something took you.
They really don't.
They don't.
And again, I don't understand. Like, now having the years of background in this field that I do, and listening to all of the speakers and everything, I don't understand hourly billing. It doesn't make sense. You are telling me that if I follow hourly billing as I should, the more efficient I am, the less money I make. But if I want to make more money, that means I have to take on more clients just because I'm more efficient. It makes no sense.
I remember thinking that when I was 25 years old at my first CPA job. I said, you mean Tony, who's slower than me, works less clients than me, and you like him better because his per client billing was more than my client billing. But I would get 4 tax return done than his 1. And you think he's better?
It's crazy.
I thought that makes no sense. And I said, why don't we just charge a flat rate? Oh, that's because that's not how we do it. Maybe we should change it. I was 25 years old. I'm now 70. It was that long ago. So I never...
So look, you were a trendsetter too.
I know, I'm a forward thinker. you know, but yes, it made no sense to me
Yeah.
how this profession was run.
So I do subscription based, so I charge a monthly fee, and then it includes everything that I include in my engagement, whatever that happens to be as far as the tax planning goes.
So you don't worry about they call up and need something special. As long as you could do it, it's included.
It's included. Now, don't get me wrong, I can reassess, you know, I don't reassess more than once a year, but that's all part of I don't want them to have a surprise bill. I
Right.
don't want them to suddenly go, what's this? I wasn't expecting this.
Right.
You know, so, and there are a couple of schools of thought on this. I know some that still charge separately for the tax return, but I don't do that. Everything for me is
Everything's
included. They have a new tax return one year. Most of the time I will just include it, but then reassess the next year.
Right. So if they have their kid come in,
Again, yeah, and again, it evens out because some clients take more time, some clients take less
exactly.
time.
So it doesn't matter how long it takes because they're paying for an output. Now you're a big AI user. I tell you what, in our reframe group, Marlon talks all the time about how he's using Claude Code. He was just telling me as Donna was getting the technical stuff fixed, and I'm like, my eyes are popping out of my head. You know, but you use AI and I talk about the little thing you did about organizing your garage.
Okay. So
This is how he uses it. It's so exciting.
So this was a personal project. This was not a business project, but I made my own app that I called Shelfie.
Shelfie. Like on the shelf.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's basically an organizer that, you know, for my ADHD brain helps because, well, also my accountant brain who loves structure and organization, where basically I can add areas into the app. So I can have a garage, I can have my home office, I can have my outside office, and then I can put totes in those areas. And then I can do a couple of different things. I add things to the tote. So I can either take a picture and AI gives me a list of everything it sees. I can add...
Okay, so you have an actual tote bag.
You know, those big green, black
the big
totes.
things, and then with stuff in it.
Yes.
And you take a picture of it, which AI will look at and tell you what's in the tote.
Yeah, so basically it's a catalog of everything, so I know where it is. It then generates a QR code, so I can scan the QR code with my phone, and it takes me immediately to the tote to see what's in there. Of course, I could also search using the app itself.
Now, and you did this with Claude Code.
Yep.
How did you think of this? How do you think of this stuff?
It really just was that's sometimes the drawback of being ADHD, because you will just get a random thought in your head in the middle of something else
Right.
and immediately pivot. You know, we've talked about organizing our garage for years,
Right.
and being that personality type where it has to be a certain way. If I'm going to organize it, I want it to be organized. So this was just like, it was one day when I was like, really over the summer, I need to work on the garage. What can I do to help me stay organized?
Well, I have an idea. This might work too. I put this on my husband. Could I have Claude Code do this? I go in my garage and I start taking pictures, and I have Claude Code look up the stuff, what I could sell it for on eBay, and I could put in a category, sell it, donate it, or throw it out.
So, you know, that's funny. That's actually one of the things I have built in a way. So one of the features I added later on was barcode scanning.
Yeah.
I use the eBay API for the barcode scanning.
Okay.
So basically, because there's, again, you learn so much when you do all
And where
this
did you
code.
learn this?
Claude taught me.
Claude. Okay. He's the best.
Well, because I'm like, hey, Claude, I want to add barcode scanning. What are my options? And
Okay,
then
so you
it
just
will
ask
list.
Claude.
Yeah.
We think we have to figure out, you just ask Claude to give you the answers.
Yeah.
You were telling about skills earlier, and what's a skill? So how you come up with, if Claude asks you the question, then you know to say, figure it out yourself. What do you say?
Oh, so one of the things we were talking about is like, Claude, when you're building things, Claude will occasionally ask you to do something on its behalf. Like, hey, I can't do this. I need you to do it, and then tell me what you did. A lot of the times, Claude can actually do it itself. You just, because it's AI, in the beginning, I felt it was the authority. If it's telling me I need to do this, then I need to do this. No, you push back on Claude. You tell it, no, I know you can do this. Set it up however you need to, even if it means I have to do something to set it up so you can do it yourself.
Okay, so it's like that intern that comes to you with a problem that thinks you can say, no, I know you can do this. I hired you to do this. Here's what you need to know. Now go figure it out.
You
get
really
stuck-
do need to treat it like an intern, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a good analogy.
Okay, great. And before we get any farther, I want to mention that our podcast today is sponsored by RightTool. And RightTool is the brainchild and genius of our dear friends Hector Garcia and Mark Coram. Now, you use RightTool even in your tax practice.
Yep. I mean, I use it less now because I
Right.
reduced my accounting work, but yes.
Yes, and RightTool, I always like to say the only wrong tool is not to use RightTool, because I just love RightTool. It takes all the frustrations that we have as QBO users and it fixes them. So we all hope you check out RightTool. There is a free version, you can test it out, which you can actually even like have your clients start using and get those little frustrations out, and then you can go to the pro version, which is what I use. And I can't imagine not having it. In fact, when I go to a client's office, I'm working with them and they don't have RightTool when I'm logging in, I go, oh wait, you don't have RightTool.
We need to fix this.
Yeah, let me get you RightTool. It's a extension that sits on top, and they're always coming up with better and features and all of that stuff. So we want you to go check out RightTool there, and we want to thank RightTool for sponsoring our YouTube channel today. That's always great. So thanks, RightTool. And so back to talking to you.
Okay.
And so you started this. The letter went out.
Oh, yeah, that's where we were.
Yeah. Did you lose any clients?
Oh, yeah, a ton.
How many did you get to keep?
I'd say, if we talk percentages, probably only about 30%, maybe 35%.
Now, let me say, if you tripled your price and kept only 30%, you're still making the same money.
It was really close. Like, gross revenue was actually it was less, but it was close to what my revenue before was. But the amount of hours for the work.
Yeah, the capacity increased. So now you could focus on the soft skills to talk to clients about what they
just have the time to talk to clients.
Exactly, the time, because I think AI has made us more efficient to
In
do
some
more
ways,
work.
yeah.
No, to be able to talk to clients. To me, which is why we do accounting anyway. That's great. That's just great. And so, what do you do for fun? You have 2 kids, you said.
What do I do for fun?
How old are your kids?
The joke used to be I sleep, but
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of time for that anymore. 10 and 14.
10 and 14, teenagers.
Oh, yes. Well, the 10-year-old is going on. The 10-year-old's my girl.
Right.
She is definitely going on teenager, tween.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, she's there.
Okay, good. And your wife, does she work outside the home or just?
She's a teacher.
Oh, what does she teach?
She actually teaches within an elementary school. She teaches the autism unit.
Oh, good for her.
So it's a amalgamation of a couple different years that they group together.
Oh, well, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
I have no patience for that. I should have been the father.
It's ironic because she's in a family of multiple ADHD and
Oh,
autistic
that's why
people,
she
so
picked you?
she gets it.
So she got to practice on you. That's great. That's great. So before we wrap up today, what's the one thing you would tell our listeners to give them the courage to be able to go out and do their own thing or do what you've done?
That's a good question. No matter what, it's scary. Definitely, if you're not comfortable going all in, do it in chunks. One thing we didn't talk about is that I did not do what I did with every single client one day immediately for everyone. I literally did it over a year and a half span between my entire client base. Because you don't want to make sure, you got money still has to come in.
Yeah, you got to pay the rent.
So, I did it over time to where, and then the most important thing was only taking the clients that I wanted to take, the ideal clients, the one who wanted to work under the planning,
right?
The tax planning.
So you say no more than you say yes.
I do, and I actually take very few new client meetings also at this point.
Right.
Just I'm not actively going out because I want to make sure I have the time to service them and have the capacity right now.
Right.
So, I'm hoping AI helps me streamline more so I can increase capacity.
Right.
But until then, it's all about just making sure that I have the capacity for the clients at the level that I'm trying to service them.
Right. That's great. So have courage. That's the big lesson. Just do it.
Just do it. Trust me, it's worth it.
And he really is one of the stars in our Reframe Society, because I watch him and he shares stories all the time, and I'm like, oh, I have to do what Marlon does. Call him up. Give me some courage, Marlon. I wish you could sell it as a pill.